Hello guys, welcome to another video with Gamers Class. This is Shizzy here, bringing you another video, and this video is gonna be all about how to pick the perfect hero for your pubs on the mid lane. Now, there's two things that you require to do this, and obviously this video is gonna help you out with it, but the two requirements for picking the perfect hero in your pubs is having a lot of game knowledge, alright, about the game, and second is playing a lot of heroes that are in the meta. If you don't know how to play them the best, at least you need to play them at an average level or above average level, so you can actually pick most of the heroes and basically just pick the best hero for the game. Alright, so let's get right into the video. So guys, as soon as the game starts, right, you basically want your supports to pick first. Like, you can't really force them obviously, but you want to ask them to pick first. You also want to ask for last pick, because it's more or less the mid laner or the safe laner's job to get the last pick. It's always ideal that the mid laner gets the last pick, sometimes the safe laner as well, but in this video it's gonna be about the mid lane obviously, so yep.
5 seconds remain.
Crystal Maiden.
So if you notice, enemy pick a lion and ogre, they pick two supports. My team over here, they pick Crystal Maiden and Weaver. So now the enemy don't really know what this Weaver is. The Weaver could be a support, the Weaver could be actually a safe laner, the Weaver could also be an off laner. Sometimes Weaver can also be mid lane, which is very bad, but sometimes yes, Weaver can be mid lane as well. So they don't know what we're about to do, but we definitely know what they're about to do. This ogre is a 5, this lion's a 4, or other way around, but we know what their supports are. Alright, so now they're gonna pick Timbersaw, which is clearly off lane. Okay, and then they pick a Queen of Pain. Now at this point guys, at this point it is 100% I'm personally 100% sure that this cop is mid and they want to give the carry last pick. Sometimes, like I said, it happens that the carry gets last pick, but the way I evaluate this game is that the cop is going mid. Alright, they're going Timbersaw off lane, they're going ogre and lion. Alright, and now I'm already starting to evaluate. So they have a high impact mid lane hero that's gonna rotate a lot. So one thing I have to keep in mind, that okay, so the enemy mid laner, which is cop, is gonna rotate a lot. So I definitely have to pick a hero that will rotate as good as the cop or better. Okay, so when I think about this, what comes to mind? What comes to mind is Lesh. Lesh is pretty good at rotating. Ember is pretty good at rotating, and of course Puck is actually pretty good at rotating as well. But now we have to keep in mind that what actually will win the lane against the Queen of Pain as well, right? Because the game starts on the laning stage and then it goes on to the mid game, rotations, team fights, so on, so forth. But the first thing and the foremost important thing is the mid lane, the laning stage. So I had to pick a hero that will basically outlane Queen of Pain as well. So what is a hero that can outlane a Queen of Pain the best? It's obviously a Puck. Why Puck? Because Puck will never get hit by a Shadow Strike, Scream of Pain, or Sonic Wave if you do it right. You get a coil to catch the Queen of Pain, and overall it adds a lot of impact to the Timbersaw because I can coil the Timbersaw as well, and the Timbersaw can't run away. My silence just basically messes up all of their team fight. So overall, Puck in my head is already looking really good here. Okay, so let's look at what we picked then. We pick a Shadow Shaman, and then we pick an Underlord. So we have a tanky hero, we have a catch hero, we have someone who's going to give us a lot of mana, the Crystal Maiden, and we have a Weaver who's basically going to do most of the damage. So right now all we really need is someone to go in and out of fights, and at this point our draft is so good, all I really have to do is win the mid lane. If I win the mid lane, we just basically win the game, because we have control, we have damage, we have mana from the Crystal Maiden, everything is perfect, right? So even at this point the Puck is just looking really good, and I instantly pick Puck. I obviously don't know what their last pick is going to be. That's how the new last picks work. You don't really know what the last pick is going to be, so I just picked Puck. And obviously it was an easy counter for the Queen of Pain, and we actually ended up winning this game very, very easily. Like, I had no issues at all. I also outlaned the Queen of Pain, got some solo kills on him, and this game was a complete stomp, as you can see from the scoreboard. Now, this was probably the easiest scenario that you could get in a game where the enemy mid laner shows himself. You can easily evaluate the enemy mid laner's hero, and you can counterpick it. But here comes the harder situations, where you don't really know what the enemy is gonna pick, and this is one replay that is basically gonna show. So in this game, the enemy pick a Rubik and a PL. Alright.
Monkey King.
Alright, so at this point, guys, it's very hard for me to predict, is this OD mid? Or like, what's happening, you know? And at the same time, they have a PL. Now, the way I basically picked Leshrac in this game and why I picked it is because I really don't know if this OD is gonna go mid or if this guy's gonna last pick, right? So what I do is I just pick a Leshrac. So let's say that I get counterpicked by this guy somehow, right? My hero will basically be countering the PL. So in a way, I will still have a game. I might lose the mid lane to this guy, but I will still have a game going into team fights, because Leshrac counters the PL quite hard. Their supports don't really do anything. They don't really catch me. This is something that I've already evaluated. So the Coddle, what does he do to a Leshrac? Pretty much nothing. What does a Rubik do to a Leshrac? Pretty much nothing. What does an OD do to a Leshrac? Well, OD can be quite annoying for a Leshrac, but again, like I said, I wanted to have a impact in the team fights, and I wanted to pick a counter for this PO, so I picked Lesh. Now, I don't really know what the enemy is gonna pick on the mid, and let's see what he actually picks.
Puck.
And he picked a
10
Puck.
seconds remaining.
So the first thought that I had was obviously a Puck, and why I went for Puck is quite obvious. OD will Astro me, right? Because I was thinking maybe this OD is mid. So OD will Astro me, and what's gonna happen is, like, he will Astro, then he's gonna use Meteor Hammer, and then I will just phase shift it. I will never get Meteor Hammered. The Rubik can only lift me, the Coddle does nothing to me, the PL does nothing to me. I can coil the PL, and the PL has no game. So overall, Puck seemed like a really good pick, but obviously it was a really good pick for them as well. They picked Puck and it got banned. So now at this point, I'm thinking, okay, so if he wanted to go for a Puck, he wants to go for a high impact, fighting, rotating kind of a mid laner, right? Which could be something like an Ember, White Spirit, or Queen of Pain, something like that. And at that point, I thought, okay, so I still want to counter pick the PL, so let's go for Lesh. Puck was also countering the PL a bit, and so will the Lesh. So I picked the Lesh, and the enemy picked the Queen of Pain.
5 seconds remaining.
And we actually
Storm Spirit.
won this game quite easily. Quite easily. There were no problems at all. I also went for a Storm first before I went for the Lesh. Again, guys, the idea was in this game, the idea was that I have to counter the PL, right? Because I cannot see the enemy mid laner. So for me, the safest bet is that I counter their carry, and I go into the mid game strong, even if I lose the lane. That is the mindset you need to have when you're last picking mid, and you know that you can't really see the enemy mid, right? So it's something that you can fall back on. So he also picked Storm, I also picked Storm, and then he picks the Queen of Pain, and I go Lesh. That's how this went down. I
10
actually,
seconds
I
remaining.
didn't entirely remember this replay, not gonna lie.
The sack.
But the theory of why I picked what I picked, all these three heroes, Puck, Storm, and Lesh, I was countering this hero, this PL. And overall, Lesh versus Queen of Pain, it's an even matchup. It's not that hard of a matchup. Both sides can win. Both heroes can actually win, depending on the skill. But I actually had a better game overall, because I was smart enough to like carry, like counter their carry, and the cop just picked whatever hero. It's not even a good cop game because we have Lion who can catch the cop. We have an Underlord. We have a Techies who is gonna annoy this Queen of Pain way too much. So overall, this is how I counter picked Radiant, and I actually won this game pretty hard, as you can see from the scoreboard. 24-10. Right, and this PL had no game. All game he had no game. Like, look at his farm, 25k net worth. Just because I picked this hero and I kept on running at him. So you need to have a clear idea of what you want to do in the game. And obviously, like I said earlier on in the video, that you need to have two things. One, a clear understanding of the game, good game knowledge, and two, you need to play heroes above average at least. If you can play them really good, even better. For me, I would say I personally know how to play at least 10 to 15 mid laners above average. I could play 5 heroes really good, and that's why I can counterpick most mid laners in my pubs.
Your turn to
So
bat.
this game I basically picked Invoker, and I played it Exort, and I'm gonna explain
5
explain
seconds
why
remaining. Dire
exactly.
team picked
So my team basically picked
5
Phoenix.
seconds remaining.
The enemy actually picked OD,
Earth Spirit.
and
Your
then we
turn.
pick Earth Spirit, and they pick a Puck. Now at this point it is very troublesome for me. Is the OD going mid? Is the Puck going mid? What is happening? Are they fighting for mid? Are they toxic? Are they fighting? Because that's what happens in pubs. People just first pick mid. So at this point I'm kind of confused. Is the OD going mid or the Puck going mid? What is happening? Both of these are pretty good mid laners. Our supports are quite nice, Phoenix and Earth Spirit, so I'm quite confident going into the game that, okay, even if I get counter-picked at mid, or if I don't pick the best hero, my supports are quite
10
strong.
seconds
Both of
remaining.
these two heroes are really high impact supports compared to what they've shown
5
us.
seconds remaining.
Especially the Earth Spirit, he counters the Puck and the OD with his silence and his rolling.
Oracle.
So then we pick an Oracle,
Mirana.
and at this point I realize, okay, so the Earth Spirit's gonna be off lane, and the Phoenix and Oracle are supports. So even better. That means my offlaner is gonna be something that is gonna run at them, and I can actually pick something
Phantom
greedy at mid.
Assassin.
So now this is the time where I wanted to evaluate the game. So they have a Mirana, which is obviously gonna be a support. All right. Now I have to evaluate: is the OD gonna be mid or the Puck? Right. So see, the reason why I thought that the OD is gonna be offlane is only for one reason. They picked Mirana, and naturally the OD wants to lane with the Mirana so he can astral into arrow combo, right? So I just thought that, okay, this OD is actually going to be offlane, and potentially the Puck is going to be mid. But then again, nobody really first picks a mid unless he's being really toxic. So I thought, okay, maybe this guy's going to last pick mid, and if he doesn't, it's fine. I'm just going to assume I'm going to lane a Puck, alright? And the reason why I go for Exort Invoker, guys, two reasons. One, to counter this Lifestealer. Alright, he doesn't do good against pure damage like Sunstrike, Alacrity, Cataclysm, and all that stuff. And of course the Force Spirits as well. But on top of it, I can Alacrity my PA, and the PA can just go ham on anyone. And the third thing is I can actually play a greedy Exort Invoker because my Earth Spirit is an offlaner, and this guy is obviously gonna run at them and make space. That's how the hero works. So I knew I'm gonna get a lot of space, and I'm also gonna get a lot of Sunstrike kills, and it just makes a really good Exort Invoker game. I really didn't counterpick anyone in this game. I just picked my best hero because I believed that I could carry the game with my Exort Invoker here. Exort Invoker that I play is one of my best heroes, right? So sometimes, guys, some games you will not be able to figure out what the enemy are doing, all right? You just have to pick your best hero. Now this best hero could be anything really, but you just have to believe in this hero, and you have to look at your team instead of the enemy. In this scenario, I actually look at my own team. I look at the Earth Spirit, he's gonna make space for a greedy Exort Invoker. I look at the PA, I can Alacrity him and he can just kill everyone. And it just makes a really good game for my own hero, if that makes sense. So I just picked Exort Invoker, and the enemy, I don't exactly remember what they picked.
10 seconds remaining.
They picked the Queen of Pain.
Of pain.
I personally didn't care much about it because I knew that the cops now he's gonna go mid, and it's not gonna be that hard of a matchup, to be honest. Exort Invoker does just fine against the Queen of Pain, and we actually stomped this game and we won this game really hard. So there's basically three scenarios, guys, to give you guys a conclusion of this video. There's three kind of ways to last pick your mid hero. One, where you can easily see what the enemy has picked. Like in the first replay, we saw that the cop was mid. I just counterpicked it with Puck. Alright, the second way is to counter the enemy carry really hard. So let's say you have a bad laning stage, you will recover by running at this carry or offlaner or any hero that you were trying to counter really hard. So in a way, you have something to fall back on. Alright, that's the second way of picking your heroes for the mid lane in pubs. And third, which I personally love the most, is looking at your own team and looking at how they will actually complement your hero. And if you feel like it is actually complementing your hero, just pick your best hero that is being complemented, like in this Invoker game. Earthspirit complements me, PA in a way complements me, Oracle does as well. Overall, our team synergy was complementing an Exort Invoker, and I just picked it. So that's three ways, guys. Three clear ways of picking the best hero for the mid lane in your pubs, and it's definitely going to help you have an edge over your enemies just from the picking stage, and it's going to help you go into the laning stage, mid game, and overall in the game as well, as long as you know what you're doing. Remember, guys, if per se TA counters Invoker at mid, right, but you don't know how to play TA and you still pick TA, chances are you're still gonna lose. Like I said, you need to how to play above average, and then you need to actually know how to counter the enemy with game knowledge. These are two things that are very important. They go hand to hand at the same time. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll have fun picking heroes in your pubs after you've watched this. Shizzy signing out.